Today is June 1st, 2026, and this is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
It is a new month.
That's right. It's the month of June, which is my favorite month.
Yeah, in fact, it is so well known in our family, this is your favorite month, that one of our grandchildren is named June after your love for the month of June.
That's right, which is very special.
Yep.
And I'm excited because actually tomorrow I get to go see her. So I get to go to Colorado, and her parents, SR and Jenna, are in the process of moving. Not far, same town, but and so I'm going to help them with their move.
Great. We're in Isaiah. We're going to read Isaiah 11, 12, and 13 today. And we've talked in Isaiah about how there's just a judgment and hope. And we're going to read hope in chapters 11 and 12, and then we're going to read about judgment in chapter 13.
Right. And actually, chapter 13 is going to be the beginning of a new section of Isaiah. We're going to go for about 10 chapters or so of oracles against other nations. So far, we've just been focused on Israel and Judah.
Yeah.
But starting in chapter 13 through at least 23, it's going to be against other nations.
Yep. And so here we come, chapter 11. This sounds a lot like when Jesus came to preach in Nazareth. He opened up to Isaiah 61, and he preached the text there about how the Spirit of the Lord was upon him and how today this scripture has been fulfilled. And this is talking about the similar sorts of ideas here in Isaiah chapter 11. There shall come forth a shoot from the stump of Jesse, and a branch from his roots shall bear fruit. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge, and the fear of the Lord. That is the Messiah coming from the line of David. Spirit's going to be upon him. And his delight shall be in the fear of the Lord. He shall not judge by what his eyes see, or decide disputes by what his ears hear. But with righteousness he shall judge the poor, and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall kill the wicked. Righteousness shall be the belt of his waist, and faithfulness the belt of his loins. So again, idea the Messiah coming, but he's coming as a ruling, reigning king. So perhaps this is even talking about a second coming. And here the wolf is dwelling with the lamb. That seems second coming-ish, utopian, millennium perhaps, or heaven perhaps, of just how...
Of peace.
Peace it is, yes.
Yeah. Okay, verse 6. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the young goat, and the calf and the lion and the fattened calf together, and a little child shall lead them. The cow and the bear shall graze, their young shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. The nursing child shall play over the hole of the cobra, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the adder's den. They shall not hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea.
In that day, the root of Jesse, that is Jesus, the Messiah, who shall stand as a signal for the people, of him shall the nations inquire, and his resting place shall be glorious.
In that day, the Lord will extend his hand yet a second time to recover the remnant that remains of his people from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the coastlands of the sea.
He will raise a signal for the nations, and will assemble the banished of Israel, and gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The jealousy of Ephraim shall depart, and those who harass Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not be jealous of Judah, and Judah shall not harass Ephraim. But they shall swoop down on the shoulder of the Philistines in the west, and together they shall plunder the people of the east. They shall put out their hand against Edom and Moab, and the Ammonites shall obey them. And the Lord will utterly destroy the tongue of the sea of Egypt, and will wave his hand over the river with his scorching breath, and strike it into 7 channels, and he will lead people across in sandals. And there will be a highway from Assyria for the remnant that remains of his people, as there was for Israel when they came up from the land of Egypt. So just in terms of a summary here, you just have the shoot from the stump of Jesse coming. He's going to come in a strong way. But when he comes, the wolf is going to dwell with the lamb. And there's going to be this second time of recovering the remnant. Just talking about God probably calling Jews from all over the world to come back to Jerusalem. And just kind of this picture of the highway from Assyria, like all these Jews kind of coming back into Jerusalem at a glorious time.
It is interesting. I mean, that happened in the 1940s after World War II.
Exactly
A
right.
lot of Jews came back, and then they formed the nation of Israel again.
Yeah, same kind of feel for sure. Okay, Isaiah chapter 12 feels like a psalm.
Okay. You will say in that day, I will give thanks to you, O Lord, for though you were angry with me, your anger turned away, that you might comfort me.
Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and will not be afraid. For the Lord God is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation.
With joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation, and you will say in that day,
Give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples, proclaim that his name is exalted. Sing praises to the Lord, for he has done gloriously. Let this be made known in all the earth. Shout and sing for joy, O inhabitants of Zion, for great in your midst is the Holy One of Israel. It's interesting that there's a different tone here, just very...
completely different from the rest of Isaiah.
Yeah, it's like a testimony. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, like a personal expression of praise. Okay, and now in chapter 13, everything's going to change. Summary for chapter 13 is super easy. As the heading of the ESV says, the judgment of Babylon. Very much so. Oracle. Okay. Yeah, so I like in mine to try to pull phrases from the scriptures as much as possible. And it says the oracle concerning Babylon. So there it is, the oracle concerning Babylon. It's going to extend chapter 13 and 14. And again, at this point, I would just sort of say, sit back and just listen to the overwhelming judgment that's coming and just catch the movement of it rather than the specific verses.
Okay, and I would say listen for the animals that are described in this chapter.
Okay, here we go.
All right, the oracle concerning Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amoz, saw.
On a bare hill, raise a signal, cry aloud to them. Wave the hand for them to enter the gates of the nobles. I myself have commanded my consecrated ones and have summoned my mighty men to execute my anger, my proudly exulting ones.
The sound of a tumult is on the mountains as of a great multitude. The sound of an uproar of kingdoms, of nations gathering together. The Lord of hosts is mustering a host for battle. They come from a distant land, from the end of the heavens. The Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Wail, for the day of the Lord is near. As destruction from the Almighty it will come. Therefore all hands will be feeble, and every human heart will melt. They will be dismayed. Pangs and agony will seize them. They will be in anguish like a woman in labor. They will look aghast at one another. Their faces will be aflame.
Behold, the day of the Lord comes cruel, with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land a desolation and to destroy its sinners from it. For the stars of the heavens and their constellations will not give their light. The sun will be dark as its rising, and the moon will not shed its light. I will punish the world for its evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. I will put an end to the pomp of the arrogant, and lay low the pompous pride of the ruthless. I will make people more rare than fine gold, and mankind than the gold of Ophir. That means almost all of humankind is wiped out.
Yeah.
That's shocking. Wow. Anyway, okay. Therefore, I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken out of its place at the wrath of the Lord of hosts in the day of his fierce anger. Sounds very apocalyptic. The whole earth is getting destroyed.
Well, it is. Like the sun is going to be dark, and the moon will not shed its light, and this is the judgment coming upon Babylon and perhaps even upon the whole world. And it gets worse. Yeah.
Verse 14.
Hear your animals.
Okay, yep. And like a hunted gazelle, or like sheep with none to gather them, each will turn to his own people, and each will flee to his own land. Whoever is found will be thrust through, and whoever is caught will fall by the sword. Their infants will be dashed in pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be plundered and their wives ravished.
Yeah, this infants dashed to pieces. It's mentioned also in Psalm 137 in terms of a precatory psalm against the enemies of the people of God.
This could get censored on the podcast.
It could be. Behold, I am stirring up the Medes against them, who have no regard for silver and do not delight in gold. Their bows will slaughter the young men, and they will have no mercy on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes will not pity children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the splendor and pomp of the Chaldeans, will be like Sodom and Gomorrah when God overthrew them. It will never be inhabited or lived in for all generations. No Arab will pitch his tent there. No shepherds will make their flocks lie down there, but wild animals will lie down there, and their houses will be full of howling creatures. There ostriches will dwell, and there wild goats will dance. Hyenas will cry in its towers, and jackals in the pleasant places. Its time is close at hand, and its days will not be prolonged.
So these wild animals are going to take over the deserted city, including ostriches and dancing goats.
There you go. There you go.
And hyenas and other things. But I think that's just speaking of how great the destruction of Babylon is going to be.
Yep.
Which I think is somewhat comforting to the Jewish people because Babylon is their enemy.
Right. Okay, so we saw hope in chapters 11 and 12, and we see judgment in chapter 13, which will continue tomorrow. We will see you then. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.